Child. This thing just started videotaping by itself. Like, started on its own. But anyway. So, I needed a break, if y'all can't tell. I needed an emotional, psychological break from my video. My videos that I've been doing on the process of getting through all of this emotional stuff with my firstborn son. So my next video, I'm gonna be more prepared. I've been kind of like just winging these, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print out the stuff so that I can have it, like, and highlight the things that I forgot, so I don't go over things I've already been over. So, and also not to forget anything, because I did want to, oh, my hand's so dry. I did want to touch on, sorry, I'm a little distracted. It is pouring down raining. My goodness. I didn't want to go over all of the grievances. I didn't want to let anything go. So I think today what's been heavy on my heart is man, when I read the part about his little brother, implying that his little brother's a loser, my God. Whew, that cut deep. I already know that he has something against the baby boy. I don't know what it is. I will never understand it. But wow, just to go in and imply that he's a loser, because I don't know. That's tough. And that's some deep shit. Like, I've watched the things happen in my house between my oldest and my baby. I've watched it. Some things I don't say anything about. Other things I used to have to correct Navaj about, that I felt like I shouldn't have to correct a big brother when dealing with a little brother, especially with their big age difference. Like 8 years apart is a big age difference. And for you to be 20 and calling your 12-year-old brother a loser, implying that he's a loser, is really just, it's a low blow. It really is. And I asked him after I read all that. I went to check on him, like, what you been doing? Because I sporadically check. Like, I'll just pop up and be like, let me see your page, just to check on him, you know. Open your phone. So I told him to open his phone. I'm like, oh, where's your Instagram? Where's your Instagram? He doesn't have Facebook, but he has Instagram and a TikTok. He's like, oh, I deleted that. I've been deleted that. I prefer to be on TikTok, which my heart was so relieved, because I don't even know. I'm just happy that he didn't have to see that or read that. Because he follows his brother. Now, if he ever goes back to log in on his Instagram, he'll see it, and I'll deal with it at that time. But oh, don't cry, D. I'm not ready, because his little brother adores him. Like, adores him. Even though they fight a lot, which a lot of the fights could be avoided, because if Navaj was more of a big brother, a lot of the friction could be avoided. But he doesn't treat him like a little brother. He treats him really poorly. And just to give an idea of like how he came to visit when he moved away from home. And that's another thing I want to say. My son didn't move away from home because of anything that was happening at home. We didn't agree with his girlfriend living with us at the time, and she needed to get from her living position that she was in. So he wanted to be with her, and so that's why he left home. He didn't leave on bad terms. all the friction between us happened after he had already left home. So I just wanted to clear that up because I don't think I ever made that clear. My son did not leave home on bad terms. Him and his girlfriend came over all the time when they were living in Slidell, all the time. Not as often as would I have liked them to, because if it was up to me, I want to see him every day. But anyway, that was the deal for that. And he came over to visit one day, and he's just like, I'm like, did you go and speak to your brother? I'm sure he misses you. When you go talk to him? He looked at me and was like, Mom, Nico and I will never have that kind of relationship. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just said to go speak to your brother. Go talk to him. You haven't seen him in a while. Just go and speak to him. All right, Mom. So that's what I'm dealing with my oldest son. It's this thing that he has with his little brother. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And just to imply he's a loser, that's really, really heartbreaking. And I said I wasn't going to cry this video, so I'm just going to suck it up and just try to get through this without crying, even though crying is part of the process. But I just don't feel like crying. I just really, really don't. I've been doing really good. I've been feeling good. And if I cry, I'm just going to be tired and drained. And I don't want to do that. I just want to get through this and get my emotions out. If I absolutely need to, it'll come out. There's no control in it. But I just don't want to. I just don't want to. So all his baby brother does is play video games and watch anime all day and eat sweets. False. Not true. Just not true. Maybe if that's the way that you see him, I don't know. But this is the same kid who wakes up my son's homeschooled. He's been homeschooled for the last 3 years, almost 4 years, way before the COVID thing. He's been homeschooled for a while. Wakes up at 5 o'clock, 5:30 at the latest. Does his schoolwork. Up until last year was also learning another language. So he's not all the way fluent in Spanish, but he can hold a conversation. When he was in school, he was in Spanish immersion. So when we homeschooled him, we kept his courses going with online courses and tutors. So up until last year, he was still doing his Spanish courses as well. But COVID did change a lot. Even though he's homeschooled, everybody's schedule changed so drastically that everything was just crazy. But at home it's more lax, more relaxed. Everybody just really been chilling. Like, we're just now getting back into routine of just grinding and everything like that. Because even my business slowed down. Everybody was home more. We did more park time. We did just more flowing. Everything was just more slow paced. And I'm sure that's the case for most people. But man, this kid sets his alarm, wakes up at 5:30, does his schoolwork, and whatever he does in his spare time is what he wants to do in his spare time. He does love anime, and he loves video games. Now, there was an incident when Nico was 9 that he had a conniption fit when he lost on a game. And he used to always get really upset when he did not like to lose, and he still doesn't like to lose. But this happened when he was 9. Okay, that he had a conniption fit, and it wasn't because we told him to get off the game. I'm gonna correct the story. It was because he lost on the game. And we used to always speak to Nico. Nico, it's just a game. If this is the way you're gonna act when you lose on a game, listen, you're not gonna play anymore. And he's had his game taken away from him. He did have a little issue when he lost on the game, and he would get upset. Well, listen, get off of it. Until you learn that it's just a game, it doesn't change anything in your life. There's no reason for you to act that way. Get off of it. And he's had the game taken away several times for that. But this one particular time, he had a conniption fit. He was just like just losing his shit, right? At 9, okay? This was like a couple of years ago. This is nothing recent. And I think that's the incident that Navage is talking about with him having a fit. And that's the only time he really had a fit. But he's been over that phase for a while because we made sure of it, especially his dad. And his dad is a park junkie. Like, that's what they do. They go to the park. So to say he just sits inside all day, not true. And even when his dad is busy at work, Nico has mandatory outside time. He has a mandatory outside time. It'll be times his dad just be like, get out. And ain't nobody outside. Get out. Go outside. I don't care if nobody's outside. Ride your bike. Take your ball. Practice on your left, because Nico's into basketball. So his dad is always trying to train his left side as good as his right side. So I mean, they stay at the park. When I feel like it, I'll go out at the park with him a lot. But that's Nick's thing. That's what he has to offer. He's very athletic. And of course, his son is very athletic. And of course, they go out. Just like he took Navage to the park when he was young, Nico was right with him. And still, Nico goes to the park with him all the time. And anybody who comes to my house knows I am a label reader when it comes to my food. Any snacks we have in the house is what I approve. Now, does Nico eat outside snacks? Very seldom. In my house, you're not gonna see outside snacks. Now, when I make tuna, I'll allow soda and chips in the house because we love to eat Doritos with our tuna or barbecue chips with our tuna. But Navage even knows. I used to fuss at him all the time. Don't bring crap in this house. Please don't bring crap in this house because I don't want your brother eating that, and I don't want you eating it. Now, Navage he didn't always listen. He doesn't listen. But Navage does. He does eat a lot more plant-based foods. He loves his crap foods and junk, but he eats a lot more plant-based foods, way more than Nico does. Nico he's not really big on vegetables and fruits like that. He likes cookies and brownies and chips. And even when he's eating cookies and brownies and chips, those are things that I bring in my house. And oh my God, it is storming. And the lights are flickering. Y'all saw that? We're going to have a power outage. So, I'm at the office. Goodness gracious. Anyway, his snacks I approve of. I label read everything. I make sure there's not certain dyes in there. I make sure of his sugar intake or whatever. I'm not really worried about calories because he's so young and skinny. But everything that he snacks on is approved by me. So you can ask any of your friends when they come over the types of food that we keep in our house. We don't keep junk in our house for him to just eat sweets all day. Come on, Navage. Come on. Just come on. Just come on. My baby boy he's such a sweetheart. He's a clown. And boy, does he drive me crazy. But he's a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart. He's bright. He has a wild imagination. Goofy as all outdoors. He's just a lovable kid. And disciplined too, to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning sometimes. Just depending, because we don't make it like his dad. When his dad's up at 6, he makes sure he'll just go check on him and make sure he's doing his work. But the days that he's not up by 5:30, because Nick wakes up at 6 period. He's up at 6 a.m. And that's when he gets his day started. I'm not getting up. Like, we are night and day. I ain't getting up at 6:30, at 6 o'clock. You ain't got never ever worry about me getting up at 6 o'clock unless it's just an emergency or something that had to be pre-planned or we got something planned. I just, on a regular everyday day, I'm just a late sleeper. That's just what I do. You know, Emmy is starting to wake up a little bit early and earlier. She's getting up at 9 and I'm just like still trying to wake up. Because my routine is screwed from being an infant. because we were up all night to the morning and we slept all day. And my old body's still trying to catch up with that mess. But anyway, Nico is disciplined. When that alarm goes off at 5 o'clock, he's up. In an event that he doesn't get up, like since COVID, like I said, it's been really laxed. But before COVID, 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock. His dad wakes up, he's at the table doing his schoolwork. You know, but this kid, this kid's an awesome kid, man. He's an awesome kid. My baby boy is truly, he's a special kid. Just like I feel like Navash is a special kid too, but he's just going through things. Both of my kids. I can't see what Amy's up to yet, but both of my kids are talented in their own right and have their own gifts that I nurture and plan to nurture. But that was really hurtful, and it was just like a low blow. Like nobody ever insinuated that you were a loser, and nobody ever called you a loser. Ever. That's not even something. Us telling you that we just don't want you to be so laxed about time, because time doesn't wait. Us trying to explain to you that, we could have been further along. Things that we could have done had we had more time. Us saying we don't want you to make the mistakes that we've made, that's not calling you a loser. That's not even insinuating you're a loser. That's just saying we want better. We want better for our children. You and Nico and Amy, we tell you and your brother the same exact things. And the same thing we're going to tell Amy as well when she gets old enough. So nobody thinks you're a loser. Nobody ever thought you were a loser. It's just us just saying to you that we just don't want you to fall into that trap, the time trap, We wouldn't call you a loser, baby boy. Never did. And if you took us saying we don't want you to do this or that, that's calling you a loser, then sorry you interpreted it that way. That's not what we meant at all. At all. I can't really think of what else it was said. I don't remember everything, but like I said, next time I'll make a list, and I have to mentally prepare myself for how I'm going to explain to your brother if he ever reads that, because I'm gonna keep checking in on him to see if he's went on Instagram. I'm gonna check on him, because hearing that come from you, and you've said some mean things to him. You've said some very mean things to him and done some very mean things to him. But I think if he sees that, I think it'll really affect him in a bad way. And another thing I want to share, I was on the phone with my son before all this rant, before all this stuff happened. I was on the phone with him, and he was just like, "Cause you think you're always right and you're so controlling." I was like, "Well, Navash, give me one example. Just give your mommy one example of why you feel like I'm controlling." And I am not kidding. Like, this is literally what my son said. Remember last summer when I tried to leave home and you didn't want me to leave? You were standing in front of the door. I was like, yeah, because I didn't want you to leave home. That's control. That's control, and you're a control freak. And I'm like, that doesn't make me a control freak because I didn't want you to leave home. I'm asking you to stay. The whole point is, did you stay? Was I able to make you stay? No, because I left. Yes, you had a choice. You had a choice. You could have granted me my wish and stayed home or leave, and you left. I didn't make you stay. I wanted you to stay. I asked you to stay. I literally begged you to stay. But that's not controlling. And that's another example of how mean you are to your brother. The reason that he left home this time, because whenever you're mad, son, all of your life, when you're mad at someone at home, you go to your grandma's house. When you're mad at your grandmother, you come back to my house. And maybe I shouldn't have allowed that, but I always felt like, you didn't have your dad. I didn't want to keep you away from your dad's mom, And that's how I always looked at it. If you want to go over there, because I always knew you'd be back. So it might take a few months. Sometimes a few weeks. But I always knew you'd be back, so I never really fought it. But I think that it made you think it was okay just to run every time something was hard. But that argument came from, y'all not gonna believe this. My baby boy didn't do something his big brother told him to do. Or didn't listen to something. So Navaj was allowing him to borrow his Roku, something you watch TV with. I don't even know what it was until this day. Something his grandmother bought him. A Roku. It allows you to watch TV and watch certain channels. And I'm like, Navaj, give the Roku back to your brother. No, I'm not giving it to him. I'm like, do I take things away from you when you don't listen? Like, you're not his parent. If you have an issue with him, you need to tell me. You don't need to try to handle it on your own. It's not right for you to take something back. You're letting him borrow it. Give it to him. No, because he don't listen. Oh, just so mean and spiteful. And so he left home because of that. And I'm like, okay, no. I don't know if he got mad before or after. I was like, okay, you gonna take something from him? You don't listen to me. How would you feel if I take something from you? I said I bought that new iPhone. Give it back. And he gave it back. And got all of his clothes packed in bags at the door to leave to go by his grandmother's because his little brother didn't listen to him. His little brother had to be like 9 or 10 at the time. No, 10 or 11. 9, 10 or 11? 10 or 11. Something like that. And you're like 18, 19. It's just, I don't get your disdain for this baby. I will never understand it. I will never understand it. And I would think that the way that he treats my baby boy, that my baby boy would just like turn away from him. But he never did. He never did. I think he kind of, little brothers look up to their big brothers, in a way. It's sad. It's really, really sad. He adores the baby girl. Well, hell, he adored the baby boy too when he was little. But I don't know. He came by the other day to get his birth certificate and some things he left in his room. Birth certificate, social security card, stuff like that. Or whatever. Important papers. And stuff, clothes he left. And literally, he walked by. And I got out of the car after him. And he turned back and he was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Hey, what's up?" That was the extent of our interaction as he went in and out of the house getting things. It cuts so deep that this is what our relationship has come to. What's going on? Hey, what's up? There's literally no words to be said right now. There's too much fog. Too much too much fog. Can't see clearly what the future holds. All I know is I'm here. I went to him so many times and got shut down so many times, and I'm just blocked out. So nothing I can do but just wait. Just wait to see. If he'll come around. His girlfriend was in the car. She kept her head down the whole time, Nick said. Like, she never looked up. I just see two babies that Navaj, for one, have poured so much life and love into. And when she came around, poured so much love into that little girl. So, I mean, well, she's not a little girl, but, you know, she's much younger than me, so. Young lady poured so much love into her. And then for us to be like strangers. It really hurts. But that's Nick calling. Let me tell him to come.